Let's hear from another not weird guy. I don't want to watch Bill Maher. I was just doing that to torture chat. I don't think I can stand that video. I think I'll die.
Missouri, we've got the great Eric Schmidt, I believe the tallest Republican United States Senator. Where's Eric?
The tallest one, the most beautiful boy.
Also thrilled to have Ambassador Carla Sands here. Carla, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, JD Vance is better than Bill Maher's.
Let me just talk a little bit
They're the same guy, though.
What this election is all about and what's at stake here. Because unless we start making some better decisions, we're going to take the greatest opportunities that God could give any nation. We've got the best people, we've got the best workers, we've got the best natural resources, and the most beautiful country anywhere in the world. America is ready to be unleashed. But to do that, we've got to kick out Kamala Harris and bring back Donald J. Trump.
America unleashed, baby.
Now, we're here, of course, in a great facility, Diasor, but I'm gonna call on the leader of this great company here at the end. And what I'll do here is give a little bit of a background on why we're here in North Philly, and then I'll take a few questions from reporters, and then I'd love to bring up a couple of local business leaders to sort of bring it home and talk about why we care about these things that we care about. But look, we have a country that is being failed by its present leadership. And don't let anybody gaslight you here, because Kamala Harris is running around the country and saying that on day one she wants to bring the cost of goods and the cost of housing under control. She says that on day one,
what she means by that is it will go up instead.
It's like shit.
No, actually, nuh-uh.
She wants
Yeah, he's got male manipulator vibes. I think people don't like him for that reason, whether or not they can put a word to it.
to make groceries and homes more affordable for American citizens. Well, Kamala Harris, where have you been? Because you've been vice president for about 1,300 days. Day one was 3.5 years ago. You should have been doing your job then and not promising to do it now.
Yeah. She was the president after all.
Let's just take stock of the economic record of
That's
Kamala
just
Harris.
that's
Electricity.
literally a recycled talking point from Joe Biden's campaign. They can't even come up with new talking points. If you think the beer is rotten, you should see the clientele.
Is up 30%. Food, that's right. Food is up more than 20%. Gasoline is up 50%. And this is all because of the policies of Kamala Harris. This is the person who's promising that she's going to fix the very problems that she has been creating for 1,300 days. And now she wants the American people to give her a promotion. My friends, I think it's time for the American people to say to Kamala Harris, you are fired. We want Donald J. Trump. Now, the other thing that I find interesting about Kamala Harris's campaign is that even though 99% of the mainstream media is in the tank for her, right?
Lame stream media.
These are the same
Gay
group of
stream
people that told
media.
us
You're fired. Get out of here. You seen the Bill Maher Talks to Kids video? I've literally just closed it to watch this instead because I don't want to watch that.
3.5 years that Joe Biden, who couldn't complete a sentence, was Albert Einstein. Now they want us to believe that Kamala Harris is Abraham Lincoln. You see the completely dishonest coverage. But even despite that,
Donald Trump is the one that says I'm a better president for black people than Abraham Lincoln. He said that at the National Association of Black Journalists convention on stage. Like, how could you ever say that, like, Kamala Harris, they're trying to say she is like Abraham Lincoln? No, Trump is trying to say he's Abraham Lincoln. That's nutso projection.
Kamala Harris is running from them.
Yeah, she also said Trump also said she became a black person.
And I think a little bit like a campaign really is an extended job interview with the American people, right? So this is a person who is asking you, the American people, for a promotion to President of the United States, but she refuses to sit down for an interview, even with...
It's so awesome. She ain't done an interview yet. She just rolled out her policy She's like taking steps, and they just keep hammering it home. It's filler. There's nothing to it. It's just like, I'm mad. Don't vote for her because she ain't done an interview.
The extremely friendly media. Now, is that a person that we should reward with a promotion? No, I don't think that it is. And I think that if you're...
Yeah, people love this, like, corporatism. People love feeling like they're going to elect a middle manager. Do you think you deserve a promotion? I don't know about that.
You're terrified to sit in front of completely sympathetic, biased media, then how can the American people ever trust you to sit in a room with Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping or the leaders of the world that the president has to deal with? Now let's just take stock. Let's take stock of the Trump record, not just the vision, because Donald Trump isn't just going out there making promises about what he wants to do. My friends, he already did it. And didn't we have a hell of an economy when Donald Trump was president?
No, it was really bad at the end. When he had to deal with anything, it was really bad. GG Ping. It was really bad.
Here's what we're going to do. We are, first of all, going to unleash Pennsylvania
drill, baby, drill.
workers. We are going to drill, baby, drill. Let's...
And that's going to fix everything.
Stop buying
brought to you by Dizorb Systems. Let's look up what Dizorb Systems does. Medical waste management. Okay, it's not fossil fuels. This time. Last time he was saying this, he was literally in front of like a Exxon Mobil ad.
Energy from tin pot dictators all over the world who hate this country. We're going to start buying it from our own land, from our own people, from our own workers, and that's going to start on day one of the Trump presidency. And when we do that, my friends, we're going to bring down energy costs, not just for American families and American consumers. We're going to bring it down for American manufacturers and American businesses like Dizorb, where we're sitting right now. Now, these guys...
Yeah, they're going to get tax breaks too, just like Amazon.
Talks about how she wants to stand for the little guy, and yet her energy policies have driven up the cost of energy and food for everyday citizens. She says that she wants to bring American manufacturing back to this country. Well, Kamala, if you really, really want to bring American manufacturing back to this country, might I suggest you vote for Donald J. Trump. Get out of this race and bring back a president who knows how to do it.
That's it?
Remember, when Trump was president, when he became president for 16 years, this country had lost 60,000 factories. That was the record before he became president. He becomes president over 4 years. We had 12,000 factories. Undid a lot of the damage, and he's going to undo a lot more of it if we give him another 4-year term. Are we going to do that? Absolutely, we are. We have got to stop the Chinese and everybody else from undercutting the wages of America.
The Chinese and everybody else. They're cutting wages?
Workers, if you want access to American markets, you ought to deal fairly with the American working people, union and non-union alike. We are going to stop the Chinese from building their middle class on the back of the American middle class, aren't we?
This just doesn't make any sense.
We're going to unleash American energy, which drives down the cost of manufacturing. It also makes it possible for a lot of poor families to heat their home this winter. The thing that bothers me so much about Kamala Harris's policies is that real people suffer when she refuses to do her job. Real people. Ladies and gentlemen, I grew up in a poor family. I remember talking with my mamaw during very cold winter nights about how...
Mama. Does anyone want to guess what he means by mama? It's not grandma. Mama is not his grandma. No. His mama is his stepmom. Not his aunt. No, his stepmother. That's mama. He always makes it sound like a grandma, but he's just a fucking liar. It's so fucking snaky, bro. Mama. No one, it's so suspicious because no one, you say Meemaw when it's grandma. I've never heard a motherfucker say mama. Not once in my goddamn life. I've heard Mimi, I've heard Meemaw. Mama. Mama. The fuck? It's so fake, dude. He's like, I'm a good old hillbilly boy. Like, no, the fuck you aren't, bro. You got a, like, weird relationship with your stepmom. You call her Meemaw. In the cold winter nights with my stepmom. Doesn't exactly sound as electable as cold winter nights with my Meemaw. Fucking Ebenezer Scrooge-ass story. Like, what are we doing right now? Like, Meemaw, children's grandchildren. Meemaw, children's grandchildren will suffer the poverty of 1,000 undocumented people you want to deport from the country.
President like Kamala Harris, who's raising energy prices instead of lowering energy prices. It is a disgrace. I think whether you're rich or poor, if you work hard and play by the rules in this country, you ought to be able to afford.
Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning.
He was a venture capitalist.
Top of the morning. Hold on.
He was a venture capitalist for Peter Thiel, a Nazi right-wing billionaire. Excuse me, a Nazi billionaire donor to the right-wing American Party, to the Republican American Party. American Republican Party. God damn, dude. I hate Peter Thiel. He worked directly for his ass. Donated blood to the man.
To heat your home on a cold winter night. Ain't that right? I think if you work hard and play by the rules, whether you went to college or didn't go to college, you ought to be able to work in a job that respects your dignity and pays you a good wage.
Yeah, Peter Thiel, who definitely didn't kill his boyfriend. Definitely not a Nazi. Joe Rogan just had him on his podcast, by the way. They, like, blew my mind. I was like, how the fuck? He's literally, he always talks about, like, the shadow government, and then he literally has, like, a fucking member of the Patriots from Metal Gear Solid on his fucking, his podcast. Like, literally the George Soros of Nazis. Except actually does what right-wingers say George Soros does. I think it's pronounced like Thiel. Peter Thiel, still. Oops.
And I believe whether you're the owner of a company like Disorb or a worker in a company like this, you ought to have a president who stands up for your business and your job instead of a vice president, Kamala Harris, who's been trying to tear all that stuff down.
And you shouldn't have a union, though. I don't believe in that. Because it limits innovation or whatever and freedom.
So here is the Trump plan. Again, it's very simple, and it's not just a plan because he already
drill
did
for
it. Number
oil,
one,
cut tax,
and stop this affordability crisis.
For Americans, not poor people.
Cancel these ridiculous regulations that make it hard to manufacture and build things in the United States. Affordability crisis.
For Americans, not poor people.
Cancel these ridiculous these ridiculous regulations that make it hard to manufacture and build things in the United States of America.
No more EPA, baby.
Just today, I read
Drill,
about
baby,
a
drill.
power plant regulation coming from the Kamala Harris administration that would shut down a ton of American power plants.
Unless
who's going to benefit from that? The Chinese.
Unless they conform to the regulations. What do you mean? Which they will. Regulations are when you shut something down immediately.
Now, they say they care about our environment, but if you're manufacturing more and more in China, the dirtiest economy in the world, you're not benefiting the environment, you're not benefiting American workers, you're maybe benefiting Kamala Harris's donors,
dirtiest economy.
but you're not benefiting the American people. We're going to unleash American energy, make this country energy dominant again. Donald Trump already did it. We're just going to do it one more time. Now, I want to bring the press up here to take a few questions, but before I do,
He's talking about coal. He's talking about how much China contributes to fossil fuels in the output of CO2 in the atmosphere. But, you know, he could just call them dirty, I guess. That works too. That's crazy.
do that, I just want to offer a few observations and a few remarks on the state of this campaign. Number one, I already said this, but I'm going to repeat it for our friends in the back.
Who up jerking their Nizorb?
Is disgraceful that Kamala Harris pretends to run for the presidency of the United States, but she refuses to stand before the American people without a teleprompter standing between them. Kamala, what are you so afraid of? The American people are good and kind, even if they don't like your politics. Why don't you get out and talk to them? If you want to be... If you ought to be willing to stand before the people.
Carbon emissions, really?
Stand before the people.
Carbon emissions, really? No, but...
she has got quite the running mate. But before the end of the... But this guy...
No, but...
she has got quite the running mate. But before the end of the... But this guy, everything that can... You know, quite the running mate. But before the end of the... But this guy, everything that can... You know, it occurred to me...
Everything out of his mouth is at lid top. He's not even saying he's...
It occurred to me...
Everything out of his mouth is at lid top. He's not even saying he's gay. Say he's gay. Come...
Says he carried a weapon...
Everything out of his mouth is at lid top. He's not even saying he's gay. Say he's gay. Come...
Says he carried a weapon in war. The close to the ground a few years ago, right?
Gay. Say he's gay. Come...
Says he carried a weapon in war. The close to the ground a few years ago, right? In war. The close to the ground a few years ago, right? But like such a tough guy, right? But like such a tough guy. But like such a tough guy, my friends. I don't know if you October 1st, my friends. I don't know if you October 1st, a debate moderated by.
Okay, who cares then? All right, it doesn't matter. Stop complaining. Stop complaining. You want to debate? Shut up.
Debate moderated by.
Okay, who cares then? All right, it doesn't matter. Stop complaining. Stop complaining. You want to debate? Shut up.
Before hostile media. He apparently didn't mean.
All right, it doesn't matter. Stop complaining. Stop complaining. You want to debate? Shut up.
Before hostile media. He apparently didn't mean.
Complaining. You want to debate? Shut up.
Before hostile media. He apparently didn't mean in mid-September because I before hostile media. He apparently didn't mean in mid-September because I offered him a debate in front of CNN in mid-September because I offered him a debate in front of CNN, not exactly friends of me and Donald Trump. And you know what Tim Walz said? No thanks. Because they are hiding from the American people. My message to Kamala and Tim Walz, but especially to the American people is you deserve, the American people deserve to be led by somebody who is willing to get out there and talk to people. Kamala and Tim, stop hiding in the basement, get out there and campaign. We'd all appreciate it quite a bit. Now, like I said, I'm going to bring up a couple of these great business leaders, but before we do, I'd like to answer some questions from primarily local Philadelphia press. We've got to get out of here.
They're not going to be very nice to him, I don't think.
Cheesesteak after this, right? We are in Philly.
We got to get out of here and get a cheesesteak. I'm just chilling in Cedar Rapids. He's Hillary Clinton, bro. It's reverse 2016, but in a twist of fate, Donald Trump isn't the real Hillary Clinton. JD Vance is the Hillary Clinton. We all know he's unlikable. Everyone hates him. You can't do surprise Pikachu face if you lose the election when you nominate him as your VP. Sorry. Like, hilariously bad in poll numbers since being picked.
But any recommendations? Okay, all right.
Yeah, he'll go there. Whatever you said.
Steve's has got some partisans over here. But let me say, let me ask the local media here. If you're from the local media, raise your hand first, and then I'd like to answer a few of your questions, and if we got time afterwards, we'll get to the national folks. It's very bright, so it's hard to see all, but ma'am, I believe in a black shirt. Yes. Here we go.
Rosemary Connors from NBC Philadelphia. Senator Vance, what's your message to Pennsylvania voters on abortion? Has your opinion changed?
Drill, baby, drill.
Do you think there should be a national ban?
Boo! Boo, I hate abortion. He shouldn't even have to answer the question. Like, that's not even... That's expected. What do you mean?
Has your opinion changed? Do you think there should be a national ban? Or should it be left up to the states?
Feral.
Look, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Look, first of all, I think it's important to be honest.
Yeah, they got triggered. They literally got triggered. Republicans got their safe space violated, and they got uncomfortable.
About what Donald Trump and I are focused on here. And what Donald Trump and I are focused on is making the American dream affordable again for Pennsylvania families. That is what we're focused on.
Yeah, he shouldn't even have to talk about it. Not an issue.
Look, on the abortion question in particular, what President Trump has said has been very direct, and I think honestly he's tried to find some common ground in this country that has been divided by this question for 50 years. He said, look, Pennsylvania is going to want to have a different abortion policy from Ohio.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. He's trying to find common ground with the radical liberal baby killers. First of all, no, he hasn't. And second of all, that doesn't even make sense. Why would he do that? The fuck?
Policy from California. Let the states decide. Let the people in those states decide. And I think it's important to point out just how,
like, you can't. Okay, great. That's your position. Let the states decide. I hate to break it to you, JD. That is a demonstrably unpopular position that will lose you an election. Sorry. It's also just not what you've said before. He used to have "end abortion" in all caps at the top of his website. Like, come on. Ridiculous.
How different Donald Trump's common sense approach is from our opposition.
Common sense.
Because these guys are talking about taxpayer.
Yeah, think about how common sense leaving arbitrary laws, leaving important medical decisions up to arbitrary state legislatures that are completely asymmetrically governed with gerrymandering and corruption at the state level. It's way more common sense to let that happen than, 65 years or whatever of precedent of Roe v. Wade. That's not common sense. The precedent that has existed for all that time, no, that doesn't make any sense. That's not common sense. Uprooting that undemocratically and out of nowhere, and then letting the cards fall where they may, is actually not common sense to me at all. I don't think that's a lot of common sense. I don't even think that's good political sense, to be honest. It's clearly not working out for them.
Payer-funded abortions up until the moment of birth. That is sick stuff. Whether you're
up until the moment of birth.
A lie. It occurred to me,
bro. Okay, yeah, my mic was peaking a little bit there. Sorry, I was just yelling into it. My bad. Should I feature that one?
it occurred to me,
bro.
a lie.
How did I do that? I sounded like Crazy Frog. That's featured.
You're pro-choice or pro-life, I think we can all agree that we do not need to have American taxpayers paying for abortion at 33 weeks of pregnancy. It's gross.
It's gross.
And the final point that I'd say on this is President Trump and I believe very, very deeply that we want Americans to feel like they can afford to have families again. The biggest problem that we have in this country, you talk to young women who have a pregnancy, especially an unexpected pregnancy, and a lot of them feel like they don't have options because how are you going to feed a baby in today's economy? How are you going to house a baby with rent where they are? We want to make American family life affordable again,
How?
And I think that's the best way to promote a culture of life in this country.
Well, sorry, I know how. Drill, baby, drill.
Thank you all.
No rent caps, though.
Again, look.
No permanent
PA
child tax
reporters
credit.
First, ma'am.
Hi there, Aaliyah Schneider, the Philly Inquirer. How often can we expect you to be in Pennsylvania, and where are you getting your cheesesteak and why?
Cringe.
For honor, where's Eric?
Oh, whatever. I pressed 0 on accident and skip back to the beginning. I don't care. Die.